Hey, my Aussie friends, it's Tony Robbins from our family home here up in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Listen, I'm reaching out to you because if you're familiar with my work, you know that once a year I do something totally unique, different than any other program I do anywhere in the world. And that is I put together a very small group of people, less than 950 as opposed to 5,000 or 10,000, and we take 5 days, 5.5 days of total immersion. And I take everything I normally do for my clients who I charge $1 million a year to coach and work with, and we dig in deep. It's called Date with Destiny, and it's a program that I do literally once a year, and I've only done it in the U.S. Over a few years, I've done it in Australia, down on the Gold Coast, but I'm coming back to do one in Australia and the Gold Coast this August. So I want to put it out to you, so if you're familiar with my work, this is where I go deep. This is where I work with people one-on-one in these small groups where we figure out what it is that you really want for your life today. What's been stopping you? What's the stuff that holds you back? That you know you want to achieve certain things and you go for it, but get pulled back, or you achieve what you want and you're not really fulfilled and you want to make that change. It's the program that I'm most excited about in my life, the thing I enjoy the most, and it's the thing I'm most well known for outside, obviously, dealing with my core coaching clients. If you're familiar with my work, you know for the last 34 years, I've been just obsessed with wanting to know what makes the difference in the quality of people's lives. Why is it so many people have big dreams, but such a small number of people ever make those dreams a reality? And for those that do make it a reality, what is it that gets them not only to follow through, but then to enjoy what they have? I don't know if you've ever had the experience of achieving something that you've always wanted, and then afterwards thinking to yourself, is this all there is? It's one of the worst feelings, the worst. It's almost worse than failing, because when you fail, at least you know, hey, I can still find a way to make it happen. But when you succeed and you're not happy, you're not fulfilled, then you got a real problem. So Date with Destiny is about digging inside and figuring out what are the things that control every thought, every feeling and emotion of your life. If you ever wanted to make a change, you wanted to lose weight, you wanted to transform your relationship, you wanted to make a shift financially in your life, and you found yourself making progress but pulling back, or never really even getting started, just being excited about it for a while, talking about it but not really following through, then there's something there, something that affects the way you follow through, something that affects the quality of your life. And I'm here to tell you there's two things that control everything in your life. Every thought, every feeling, every emotion, every action you have in your life. What you're wearing today, whether you're going to turn this off within a few minutes or whether you're going to stick with me here for 2 or 3 minutes, is all controlled by two things: your beliefs and your values. Whatever you believe, if you think life is just a waste of time, doesn't matter what you do, or you're big boned, then obviously you're not going to go for it. You're not going to try to lose weight. You're not going to go push for that next level of your career or your finances or your relationship or anything else. Beliefs control us, but so do our values. Some people, value just kicking back. Some people value making it happen. Some people value their family the most. Some people value love. But you know what the real challenge is? When we have values in conflict. When you really want to make a difference in the world, or you really want to do well for your family, or you really want to do well financially, but simultaneously, you don't want to upset anybody. You want to be totally honest, and you want to make everybody happy. When we have conflicts between what we want and what we think we can have, or, you have a goal of what you really want to make happen, but then you have this other belief inside that says, this damn stuff never does work. Those inner conflicts are what keep people from using all of their energy. It's kind of like taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. Date with Destiny will allow you to discover for the first time exactly what's controlling all the aspects of your life. The beliefs, values, and rules that shape everything. And that's why if you ever talked to anybody who's ever gone to Date with Destiny over the last 2.5 decades of my doing it, they'll tell you it was absolutely changed every aspect of their life. And I don't care if it's, some of my celebrity clientele. I mean, some of you know I've worked and done some of this work all the way back to the days when I started out with people like Princess Diana to the Dalai Lama. From my early days when I came to Australia and had the opportunity to work with turnarounds with like the Sydney Swans way back a decade and a half ago when they're having such tough troubles, or, taking a look at some of the stuff, working with people like Hugh Jackman today. Or, NBA basketball 2011 champions, the coach of the team of the Dallas Mavericks, and showing how today we're turning things around. The results I get are because I can help people figure out the answer to a question. Why do I do the things I do, and how do I change it now? Have you ever asked that question? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this again? Or better yet, why do they keep doing this to me? If you want to understand why, and more importantly, how to change, that's what Date with Destiny is. And maybe even more importantly, what do I want for my life today? Because at different stages of our life, we want different things. And you don't want to be running an old script. It used to be people kind of ran on kind of 7-year cycles. It's kind of an arbitrary number, but think about it. From 17 to 24 is kind of a stage of life for a lot of people. From 24 really to about 31, that's another stage of life. 32 to 39 or 40 years old, another stage. 40 to 47, another stage. And those are random numbers, but what I mean is people tend to have an idea of what they think life's about. It's my kids, it's building my business, it's making money, it's God, it's family, it's whatever it is. And then they go for it for a period of time, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, whatever, maybe 10. But then there's a time in which people begin to question. They begin to look at their life and they begin to say, is this really what I want? Have you found yourself with that at any time? And then they do one of two things. They either recommit and they go for another 7 years and they take it to another level, or they make a strategic decision that shifts the direction of their life. Either way, your decisions control your destiny. And if you don't choose, that's a choice as well. Some people just kind of stay in the middle in that lukewarm place, not sure what they really want. So this is kind of off the cuff. What I'm really trying to say to you is, maybe the question to ask is, where do I want my life to be today? And where am I really going? What is my destiny? What's going to fill me up? What's going to give me the meaning for my life? That's going to give me joy in my life, not just achievement, but real enjoyment, a sense of meaning and aliveness. If those are questions that are things you want the answer to now, whether you're at a certain stage of life and it's changing, or you've had a birthday with a 0 on it, or you've made a lot of money, or you lost a lot of money, or you've gone through a divorce, or you're just one of those hungry people that won't settle for less than you can possibly be or share or give. If you're one of those hungry people, if you're somebody who wants to step up, then come spend 5.5 days with me at Date with Destiny. It's the only time you'll be able a chance to do this in Australia, and it comes up in this August. It's an experience that's indescribable, but I thought I'd give you a shot before I jumped on the plane. So those of you that are hungry will respond. Others are going to say, what is this crazy guy talking about? I remember years ago, one of my teachers, Jim Rohn, used to say to me, he said, Tony, life goes by so fast. He said, you know what, it'll be like that, and it'll be 10 years, it'll be 5 years. And I found in my life it's been true. You look back on what you think a long time is, it changes real quick. And the best way to have the future you want is to design it now. I tell people very often, 5 years from now, you're going to arrive someplace. The question's where. And you're going to become somebody. And the question is, who? Who are you going to be? What are you going to be about? This program is about transforming you, and it's about transforming every relationship of your life. Your intimate ones, your ones with your friends, your family, your coworkers, and most importantly, yourself. If you're one of those hungry souls, contact us right away. I hope I get a chance to see you, and if not, I hope these questions are things that you'll sit down and maybe take some time to answer. What do you want today for your life? What's going to fulfill you? What's going to drive you? Where do you want to be 5 years from now? And what do you need to shift in yourself to make it happen? I'll look forward to seeing some of you soon at Date with Destiny, and others, hopefully our paths will cross sometime soon. Live strong, live with passion, and God bless. RPM planning is a way to maximize the results of your life and maximize your sense of fulfillment and joy. It's both. In order to do that, we got to change what we focus on from the question of what do I have to do to what's my outcome? What do I want? What's most important to me? What's the result I'm committed to getting? That one change will change completely how you respond in your life, because it'll change you from focusing where everyone's demanding your attention or what you're afraid of or what might give you pleasure in the moment to what's most important to you. And those, by the way, are the three things that get our focus. If we don't discipline ourselves, what gets our focus? Something we're afraid of, something will give us pain. What's the second thing that gets our focus? If we don't pay attention, something will give us pleasure. It's like, you know what, I'm so stressed out. Oh, that chocolate's looking good. Oh, that, I'm going to go over to have my little coffee, my smoke a mocha doka cream, this thing and that thing, and I'm going to escape for a few moments. Because the focus is how to feel good. How to not feel bad, how to feel good. What's the third thing that gets your focus? Other people's demands. Where do they come from today? Where do you get other people's demands? Only face-to-face? See, you used to have that one handled, right? Okay, well, I know they're coming down the elevator. I'll go over here. I know they're going to lunch at this time. I'll come back at that time. How many ever played this game at one time in your life where it's like, I don't want to deal with this right now, so you just put yourself in a different location to avoid the stimulus of someone else's demand? How many used to do that? Say aye. Does it work anymore? No. They're instant messaging you. They're emailing you, right? They're everywhere. Right? There's triggers in every way for this to occur. Pick up the phone and call you, and where's the phone now? In your pocket. And by the way, if you're not there, they left you a voicemail. You got another job answering your voicemail. Think about it. So today, it's pretty hard to avoid the demands. It's not necessarily there are more demands. It's just that we're accessible to more demands. And if you don't know what you want, and you don't know why it's a must for you to achieve it, and you don't have a plan, I can promise you something. You're going to fit in everybody else's plan. And you're going to wonder why you're stressed. And you're going to wonder why I'm not fulfilled. What is time? How do you know when it's a long time? Or how do you know when it's a short time? It's not because it's 10 minutes or 10 hours. How many have been in 10 hours and time flew because you loved what you're doing, didn't have any sense of time whatsoever? How many have had that experience? Say aye. How many have had 10 minutes feel like 10 years you want to kill somebody to get out of the situation? So what is time? Time is emotion. Got to remember that. Time is emotion. What you're really managing is emotion. Another word for that would be meaning or fulfillment. Focus is power, but you got to take it. Take it back. Take back that power. And you got to know when you do have that focus, how to chunk it, how to group it so you're not overwhelmed. Let me show you how to make it simpler. When mass information is coming at you, you get overwhelmed. Most of us are great deletion creatures. We delete most of life. Right now, there are millions of things around you could be focusing on, thinking about, giving meanings to, making decisions about what to do. Millions. Right now, you could be focusing on the blood rushing through your left eardrum or the feeling of your skin against your body. But most of you delete that. You don't even think about clothing against your skin until I mention it, or your heartbeat. Most of the universe you've deleted because you go crazy if you try to think about it all. Because human beings have a limited amount they can focus on at one time. And most of your stress is because you're thinking about too many things at once. In fact, when people don't do things, it's not because they can't. It's not even because they don't want to. It's because of the way they are focusing on what I call chunking things. When people don't follow through, here's what they do. I'll give you an example. Who here believes exercise is very important, but you don't exercise regularly? Let me see a show of hands. Raise your hand. More hands than most of us want to raise our hand, right? Now, who here really focuses, or I should say exercises regularly? Raise your hand. Regularly. Okay, great. Who here does not exercise regularly even though you believe it's important? Just be truthful. Okay, great. So let's see what the difference is here. A person who does not exercise regularly, I want you to raise your hand and I want you to tell me why you don't exercise regularly. Be truthful. Okay? Yes, sir. I don't have the time. Now, is that true? He even knows it's not true. He's going to answer you first. No. But it feels like he doesn't have the time because time is emotion. And he's got so many other things he is focused on getting results in that adding this to the list seems like a lot, right? And the other things are very important to him, like his business. I don't have the time. He has the time. What's the real reason he doesn't do it? Because of the way he thinks about exercise. When he focuses on what it would take to exercise, he does it very differently than someone who follows through. When you think about exercising, what's involved?
At the moment, about mile 14 of the London Marathon. Quite painful.
Okay, he starts thinking about, I got to get to mile 14 of the London Marathon, and that even the thought of trying to get to the 14th mile, much less the 25th mile, is like beyond my imagination right now. So he is what I call over-chunked. He's not thinking about what he wants. He's thinking about what's painful. You just saw a perfect example. He's not even thinking about victory or succeeding. So the chance of him following through on something that he associates major pain to, when he can do something else right now he can feel competent or successful at, his chances of following through are very limited. How many will follow that? Say aye. His focus is on failure. His focus is on pain. That's why he isn't following through. Okay? He's also focused on the 14th mile of a marathon rather than today's workout. Which one seems more daunting to you? So when you think of and here's also what he's thinking about. He's thinking about the process, not the outcome or result he wants. And when you think about what it's going to take to do something, usually it takes a lot and you're not going to want to do it. So he's overchunked himself. He's trying to eat the whale whole without taking any smaller bites. And it seems too big for him, so he says, well, I'll do it when? Later. As my Australian friends would say, later. Right? And of course, the problem with doing it tomorrow is when you get to tomorrow, tomorrow is today, and tomorrow never comes. So, and you keep promising yourself. By the way, what does this do to you emotionally when you keep breaking your own promises with yourself? Or you keep failing to do things that you know are important? Does it increase your level of certainty and confidence? No. What it does is it erodes it. And when you erode confidence in one area, believe it or not, it affects the other areas too. Do you believe me on that? Don't believe me. What about your own life experience? Maybe not one area, but it starts to be multiple areas. It sure does. Another reason why somebody doesn't exercise or do anything is because they don't just chunk it too big, they chunk it in too many details. I'll give you a perfect example. So I asked somebody one time, I said, okay, how important is exercise? Oh, exercise is extremely important. Really? Okay, good. And tell me, why don't you exercise regularly? Well, I just don't have time. Okay, everybody gives that answer. That sounds wonderful. So tell me, though, don't tell me about how much time you don't have. Tell me this. When you think about exercising, what do you think about? Which is a way of saying, what do you focus on? And so this woman says to me, well, my gosh, I mean, what do you mean, what do I think about? Well, let's say I said to you, you got to start exercising, and I'm going to put a gun to the head of your children, and I will do very horrible things and hurt them badly if you don't exercise. Could you do it? Oh, yeah, I could do it. You know, if some mafia person came here and said, I'm going to kill your children if you don't exercise every day, how many think you could find a way to exercise every day, no matter what your time constraints may be? So remember this. Remember this. Change is never a matter of ability. It's always a matter of motivation. I'll say that again. Change is never a matter of ability. It's always a matter of motivation or drive, having strong enough reasons. If you got a strong enough reason, you could figure out the time, couldn't you? So the biggest part of life and time management is knowing what you want and having enough reasons to follow through. Think about it. You can look at any business, and if you want to know what shifts a business, what shifts your life, there's one force: decision making. Decision making is the force that shapes destiny, personal, corporate, business destiny. How many of you can think of the decisions that you made years ago, one or two decisions, 5, 10, 15 years ago, that decision, you may not have realized it at the time, but that decision was one of the most important decisions of your life. If you'd made a different decision there, you'd gone a different direction, your life would be completely different today. Who can relate to this in your life? Say I. The secret then is getting darn good at making more effective decisions. Now, by the way, are we always going to make the right decision, yes or no? Absolutely not, no way in a million years. But most people don't have the guts to make the tough decisions because they want to make the right decision, so they make no decision. And that's a decision. Isn't it true? And what happens is the world takes them over. So decision making is the power. Now, there's 3 decisions you're making every moment of your life and of your business. You're making it right now in this room. And if you're watching here on film especially, you might make some decisions because you're not in the environment that's different. But the first decision you're making every moment of your life that affects your life and business is, what are you going to focus on? Because whatever you focus on, you're going to feel. So as a business owner, every employee you have each day comes in and they make decisions about what to focus on. Some people focus on their own needs. Some people focus on the customer's needs. Is that going to change the quality of what your business does? How it does, yes or no? A little or completely? Completely. Some people focus on what they can't control every day. Can you predict, if you're focusing every day on what you can't control, how you're going to feel about your life or your business? You're going to be overwhelmed, you're going to be depressed, you're going to be frustrated. Right now, you're deciding what to focus on. You can be focusing on, okay, we're getting into it now. I got the energy, now we're going to get into the meat of this. You're right, all business is decision making. Better decisions, better life. Or you could be saying, wow, my neighbor smells after all that jumping up and down. Notice that focus, right? Whatever you focus on, you're going to experience though, true? Now, some people make a decision and then they focus on the decision about how it didn't work out versus what they learned. Because there are going to be plenty of decisions that don't work out. In fact, probably if we were honest, most of us forget them. But most of our decisions aren't necessarily the right decisions if we make gutsy ones. But the ultimate decision is the ability to choose again. So focus is a decision. It's happening right now. It's happening in your business. But here's what we're looking for. There's a pattern of focus. At some stages in business, as you're going to learn today, the focus of the entrepreneur in the business is increasing sales. And they increase sales, and when they're successful, they eventually fail. Because their sales are increasing, but what's not? Someone tell me, what's not? Profits. Some people are totally focused on profits. Can you make any company profitable, yes or no? Sure you can. Cut enough stuff, you can make any company profitable for a while. A day, a week, a month, a year, a decade. True? At different stages in the business, you must change your focus. There's a life cycle to a business. If you're going to make effective decisions, you got to know where you are on that life cycle. You make decisions differently for a teenager than a toddler, than a grown adult, don't you? Same thing's true in a business, in your life. So if you're going to control your life, the way you take control is making new choices. If you don't like how things are, what do you got to do? Change it. And to change it, you have to make a decision. And by the way, leaders make decisions. That's what makes somebody a leader. They have the guts to make the most difficult decisions nobody else has the guts to make. And they know they're going to be wrong. But if they're wrong, what will they do? They'll know what they want, they see it's not working, and they'll do what? Change it, which means they'll make another decision, do something new, and see if it works. That's the essence of how we grow. So first decision controls your life is focus. Lots of patterns. Some people focus on what they can control, some focus on what they can't control. Some focus on customers, as I said, some focus on themselves. If you've made this whole business about meeting your needs, you can run a successful business, but it'll be a job. Because you'll never be able to sell it. Because if it's just meeting your needs, it's not a system. It demands your attention, your connection. It's giving what you want. But ultimately, it's not going to give somebody else what they want, so you can't sell it. If you can't sell your business, if you don't have an exit strategy, you have a job. I don't care how successful the business is. That doesn't mean you have to sell the business. But one of the most important decisions you make in business is, ultimately, if I was going to sell this, if I chose to, I have to know who would I sell this to so that I have long-term value, not just an income along the way. I have this critical mass hit. I get a multiple of my business. And most people don't have a clear exit strategy. They think I'll come up with that someday. You got to start with that end in mind. That's got to be part of your focus if you're going to be successful in your business. I can remember a gentleman who's built CAA in Hollywood. It was the largest, most successful agency, right? Michael Ovitz, remember that name? He put together Nike and Coca-Cola and these billion-dollar deals. And eventually, Mike Ovitz went to go sell that business. He'd never thought through an exit strategy, and he got almost nothing for it. Because the laws prevented him from selling it to a studio. He had to sell it to some of his employees for pennies on its real value. Now, Mike found a way to make money later on in another place off of Disney. But the bottom line is, the guy didn't have an exit strategy. Even though it was brilliant, made lots of money, in the end didn't get the value. Focus. Your first decision is, what are you going to focus on? Second decision, the minute you focus on something, you're going to feel it. So if you focus on, oh my God, the economy's coming apart. My industry's, people are not buying my product or service. They're shutting it down. Consumers are not spending the money. Is that going to affect your state? Yes or no? Now, should you lie to yourself and just pretend there aren't challenges? No. But you're going to have to focus instead on, what am I going to do? What's the need that's still there? In any marketplace, there's always still people buying. I've seen it throughout the years. Even in some simple little business, let's say you're a realtor. You have your own little real estate office, or you kind of your own salesperson. You got a couple people that work with you that help you leverage yourself. Something that simple. I remember years ago, I met a woman named Marty Rodriguez. She's from the town I grew up in. She came to one of my seminars, and then she would be sitting in the front row, and in a year, I may have done 25 seminars. She was probably at 10 of them, same seminar, in the front row. This is a woman who was the #1 real estate agent for Century 21 in the free world. 9 out of 11 years. I watched her in good times make money, in the worst times make money. A few years ago, she sold more real estate in the city she's from than the entire multiple listing service of other agents combined. One person. Now she built it into a business. She's got a whole team that runs it, but it's still her. She built the brand. How does she do well when it's going horrible? She says, I love when the economy gets terrible because it gets rid of all those flaky realtors. All those flaky mortgage brokers. There's so many of them. They got in the business, was going up, and they all got successful because they were on a trend. When the trend crashed, they all left me all the business. She loves these times. But the reason is her focus is different. Does that make sense? Completely different focus. So when you're focusing, you got to decide what I'm going to focus on. But as soon as you focus on something, even if it's not true, you're going to feel it. So if you think someone tells you, someone screwed you over, they took advantage of you, and you're like, what? And you're all upset, and you picture it in your mind, and now you're angry. And then later you go to confront this person, and you find out it wasn't true. Who's ever had something like this happen and felt like an idiot? Raise your hand and say I. But when you focus on it, does it control you? Do you feel it? Yes or no? So just write focus equals feeling. Whatever you focus on, you're going to feel. And as a leader, you're going to have to manage those feelings. And you're going to do it by managing your focus. By the way, if you're going to lead other people, do you have to create a focus for the company, for the organization to be successful? Yes or no? You got to find yourself, what are people focusing on? It's affecting all the decisions in the company. So as soon as you focus on it, finally get to decision number 2. Decision number 2 is, what does this mean? When you focus on something, you got to give it a meaning. Is this the end or the beginning? If you think this is the end of your business, the end of opportunity, the end of our economy, are you going to feel differently and act differently than if you think it's the beginning? Yes or no? See, the difference between Joe Kennedy with $4 million in 1929 and Joe Kennedy with $180+ million in 1932, that big a jump, different focus, different meaning. When everybody else said it was the end and they were focusing on how to survive, he was focusing on how to take market share, he was focusing on what the opportunities were. The meaning for him was, is this the greatest opportunity of my lifetime? There'll never be another time like this. And he made enough money in that time that took care of all his heirs after that for decades to come. All because he had a different focus and a different meaning. Listen, if you're in an intimate relationship and you think it's the end of that relationship, are you going to treat that person the same way as if you think it's the beginning? Yes or no? No. Somebody's laughing over here. They know. No way. But you know what? In the beginning of a relationship, what will you do for somebody you love? What will you do for them? Come on, what? What? If they say, would you take out the trash? What do you say? I'll take out the trash, of course. What else would you like me to do? Isn't it true? After 3 or 4 years, they say, or 5 or 7, they go, will you take out the trash? Person goes, what do I look like, your janitor? And they go, I don't know what it is. We don't seem to have the same attraction. I don't know what happened. Here's what I tell people. Treat people at the end of the relationship like it's the beginning and there won't be an end. And that's not just your intimate relationship. What if your customers, what if you fell in love with your customers, with your clients, more than your product, more than your company? If your entire life was about meeting their needs, if you would do what for your customers and clients, you would do what? If you love your customers and clients, you do anything, guess what? They're going to love you. But most people love their customers and clients as long as they buy from them, do what they want, respond to them. And when they don't, they go, that's the end. You want clients for life, not just customers? Fall in love with them. It's a different focus, isn't it? It's a different meaning. And that creates a different life because you make decisions differently from that place. There's another meaning. You know, is this punishment in my business? Am I being punished by God? Or am I being challenged? Or is this actually a gift what I'm facing right now? Whatever meaning you give controls what you feel. And what you feel controls the third decision. What are you going to do? Right? The minute you give it a meaning, you get a feeling. When you get a feeling, you're going to do something. You're going to take action, you're going to pull back. A whole economy is driven by this. People start focusing on, oh my God, maybe this is going to go on forever. Maybe I'm not going to get what I need. This might be the end of the way things are. I better pull in my reins. I better not spend this money. I better not take any action. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. How many know what I'm talking about here? So decision-making is your power. You want to change your business? Think about whatever's changed your business in the past. I guarantee what's changed your business is some decisions you made. You made some decisions that shifted your business in a radical way, changed things in a way that shifted the game for you. Decisions about people, decisions about products, decisions about marketing or promotion, decisions about locations, decisions about what you're going to offer, your offerings, decisions. You want to change your whole business, you can do it next few days just with some new decisions, but you're going to get stimulated, all kinds of decisions to look at. You got to decide which ones will make the biggest difference. Today, again, is going to help you understand where those decisions need to be focused based on where you are in the life cycle of your business and where you are in your personal life cycle. By the way, do you make decisions differently? Do you look at time differently when you're 20 than when you're 30, than when you're 40, than when you're 50, than when you're 60, than when you're 70? Yes or no? It'll affect your decisions.